Hello and welcome to coverage of the Magic Online Community Cup. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe.
And I'm Matt Tabak.
Hey, I like that. You're getting the hang of this, Matt.
Timing is everything.
And we are now ready for the second round of our Stipulation Cube draft here, where we've got Gabe, Reale versus, that's the Doc. We call him Doc.
The MTGO Doc.
Yep, the MTGO Doc. And he's playing up against
Worth Wollpert there on the left. His deck, no creatures.
The
no
Worth
creatures
Dad.
whatsoever.
Yeah, so his deck was Spellbound, which means that he wasn't allowed to draft creatures. And Gabe's, run us over what Gabe's was real quick.
So Gabe says odd or evens, every card in his deck, except lands, had to be all even or all odd converted mana cost.
His choice.
His choice.
And he chose evens. As you can see, 0 is an even number. We know that because it's printed on the text of a Magic card.
I have seen fit to remind everyone several times 0 is even.
It says right on the card?
It does.
Yeah, that's how I know.
It can't odd.
Otherwise,
it can only even.
That's no. You got it.
That's not what they say?
No, that's different.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So Worth's deck, we're not going to see creatures from him.
Yeah, now that's the challenge. Now there's a few ways you can get around this. Usually this lends itself to drafting a control deck.
Sure.
That makes sense because you have a lot of removal and counter spells and such. And that's what he's done.
I don't have creatures, and neither will you.
Right, and you won't either. Exactly. And that's a looter there. Look at that artwork. Hold on a minute. I gotta.
Let
me just take a look. Oh, that one. Old school. By the way, we saw 3 damage. When I let go of this, it goes away because that thing got chain lightninged right out of here.
It obscured its own demise, but it is indeed dead.
So yeah. Also, some other ways that you're going to see Worth kind of get around the fact that he's not allowed to draft creatures are planeswalkers.
Sure.
Those are great win conditions for late in the game. And there's also some spells that give you creatures that aren't actually creatures.
Yeah, we should clarify the stipulation was no creature cards. That certainly does not mean that Worth cannot use tokens, be they produced by a planeswalker or by an instant or sorcery. So we certainly might see creatures on Worth's side about it. We won't see creature cards, but that's another thing. Some lands in this format also become creatures, as it turns out. Not sure if Worth has any of those. But he
looks
does
like
have.
Worth has gone for kind of a classic blue-red counter burn type deck where he's got a lot of counter spells and burn spells.
Right.
And he is trying to set up for maybe some Planeswalker finishes here, but he's got, we call him Baby Jace, Jace Belair the original, drawing him an extra card per turn. He's using those burn spells to manage the board state of Doc. But, I mean, just looking at his hand right now, he can go upstairs too.
Absolutely.
That's 8 damage he's holding in his hand just on those 2 cards alone.
That's surely a path to victory for Worth is the burn half of the counter burn strategy.
So we'll see if Worth can keep the threats at bay here. And this is a Dungeon Geist. Not optimal against Worth as it will almost never have a target to actually tap down, but still it's a threat.
It is a threat.
Like Worth is going to need to dedicate some amount of resources to killing that, or else it's going to kill Jace Belair. And yeah, from the looks of things, I think it's going to kill Jace Belair unless, Worth minus Jace here. So he could have +2 Jace to put Jace to 4 loyalty, drawing both players a card and keeping it out of range of the Dungeon Geist. But he's decided to just say, all right, well, we're cashing it in. He gets 2 cards back off of his Jace Belair, and it's going to soak up 3 damage here.
Yeah, he squeezed a lot of value out of Jace, drawing those 2 extra cards.
This is a miserable draw, by the way, for Doc. Like, not that these cards aren't good. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that you play Dungeon Geist into the deck with no creatures, and then you play Sower of Temptation into the deck with no creatures, and then you play Kiora, who can draw you a card and let you play a land. But the other mode is, well, basically shut down a creature from your opponent.
Doc seems well equipped against creatures here.
That's a big smile from Worth on that one. He's like, yeah, buddy, you have it. 2/2 flyer for 4 in cube.
It's your standard 2/2 flyer with no relevant abilities.
Yep.
For 4.
And you can see that Worth is working things up the chain with that Coalition relic.
It looks like both players are kind of enjoying the quirks of this matchup.
Now, one thing that could happen here is that Doc is looking for an opening to get Worth with Daze.
Sure.
It doesn't look like that's going to happen this game, but occasionally those things pop up when a player will fully tap out or maybe not play a land first, that whole kind of thing. And it looks like he's going to just get the Sower of Temptation off the battlefield here, lock down the Dungeon Geist, and Worth Wollpert has really turned the corner here.
Oh, the irony.
So Tamio. Yeah, Worth is setting up his board very nicely.
Not to be confused with Wedge Wollpert, his evil cousin.
Yeah, looks like Worth is content just to tick up Tamio.
Now he's trying to duplicate. This is just the worst ever. Look at Gabe laugh. He just can't believe it.
I tell you, Doc
This is
came
too good.
fully prepared for some other match.
This is just too good.
Sure, take out the Dungeon Geists or not. You do
I'm
have to
now
target. It is a you may, so.
I'm just hoping for Doc to draw like Flame Tongue Kavu into Treachery. And just all the bricks. And Worth is going to continue to manage the board state with a Prophetic Bolt, which is going to get him a repeal. So things moving nicely here for Worth Wollpert. You know, he does need a big source of card advantage or a win condition. Oh, he's found an Ashiok. Look at that.
Speak of the Nightmare Weaver. It is Ashiok.
Beautiful draw here for Worth, as that is going to start going to town on the library of Doc. And what you'll usually see, let's see, what I think he hit a Solemn there. Nice.
Yep.
What you'll usually see with Ashiok in Limited is that Ashiok will finish the game by decking quite quickly. The clock ends up being draw step +3 from Ashiok is 4 per turn. That's 10% of your original library going out per turn. It adds up very quickly.
Oh, yeah. It won't take long. It's funny. Cube, obviously an enormously popular format. That may be the only, shall we say, naked duplicant I've ever seen in a Cube match.
Never seen it myself. Two-powered duplicant.
Yeah.
Go.
That's just...
Also, it ate a Prophetic Bolt.
It did.
Oh, here we go. That's business. Master of Waves, and he can pay for Mana Leak as well, just there, and that's going to get him a nice board state here. Also, the protection from red with Worth's deck is a big problem.
Yeah, if it's not... once it hits the battlefield, Worth is pretty much relying on red spells to handle permanents.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he does have a repeal.
Yes, the problem is that only buys him a turn, right?
Right.
I mean, he can repeal the Master of Waves, and then the Elementals will go away, which is good. But it doesn't solve the problem. And with Gabe at 19,
it's a long
it's
road.
like I spoke too soon.
That's a long road.
How about Control Magic, Tayback? What do you?
That's.
Do you have any feelings on top decking Control Magic?
Bouncing Master of Waves is one thing.
Just steal it.
Just stealing it is. There's also the Dungeon Geists.
Yeah, I think you just steal the Master that should kill all the other elementals.
Right. Master will stop giving +1/+1 to those tokens.
Yeah, which are, of course, 0-1s, so, or 1-0s,
1-0,
I
yeah,
should say.
so with 0 toughness, they will die. And they have died.
Whoop. And that is really great for Worth because basically all of his removal's red. I mean, from what we've seen so far, Chain Lightning, Burst Lightning, there's a War Leader's Helix in his hand here, too. I don't think that Master was going anywhere.
Yeah, there weren't too many spells that were going to permanently deal with it, but Control Magic's certainly one of them. But still, Worth's got a team of 3 over there, of course. 2 Planeswalkers backing him up. Tamio and Ashiok with a lot of loyalty, so...
Doc cannot be happy about how this has gone. How close? So is Tamio ready to ultimate here? She is, right?
Yeah.
Well... Will that do it? Is that enough? Like he can just start cycling through War Leader's Helix over and over again? That probably does it, right?
Looks like no, it
old greedy Worth.
Ticked him up again.
So
no
Tamio
emblem yet.
Is at 9 now. You know, he also could go for dueling ultimates here as -10 from Ashiok takes out your opponent's hand to completely clear the way.
Yeah, I wonder how much Worth is thinking about that. There's 2 cards in Doc's hand.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's not super relevant because if he ultimates Tamio anyway, I mean, like, sure, counter my spell. I get it back, right?
So Worth, these two still chatting.
Yeah, Doc's still finding time for a smile here, though. I don't think I would be.
Well, this matchup is inherently funny, right?
It's hilarious.
All the creature removal and things to handle creatures.
Hey, he can finally cast Kiora.
Green mana, hello.
Well, that'll draw him an extra card.
Kiora, the Crashing Wave, entering the battlefield on Doc's side. Perhaps. He doesn't know.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, probably.
Minus his Kiora to draw a card. Finds Deep Analysis.
Deep Analysis will
Is terrible here because Worth is going to mana leak the hell out of it. I believe "no sir" is the phrase we use in this scenario.
Now Worth has already admitted he's made the not the optimal play once on purpose, just to see if he could do something fun. He might have let him have the Deep Analysis, and to further his goals of having Ashiok take all the cards out of the library.
Well, he's going to get it out of the graveyard anyway.
That's true.
Wait, what is happening here? Oh, Worth.
A flurry of action.
You are not greedy enough, my friend. He wanted to be mana efficient, so he used his War Leader's Helix, but that was a win condition for him with Tamiyo out.
Yeah, Tamiyo's emblem.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is at home, let's
I can bring it up
zoom
for
it up
you
real
here.
quick. So the emblem says first you have no maximum hand size, but more importantly, whenever a card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you may return it to your hand. And of course, with War Leader's Helix, that's certainly a win condition.
Wow, Worth is dedicated to his craft. He has plus Tamiyo again.
It's been quite a while since I've seen two Planeswalkers with more than 10 loyalty on the same side.
Worth, please. And he just... you know what that was? That was a submission hold by Worth Wollpert. He just kept squeezing him.
Cinched it in there.
And squeezing him.
And Doc finally tapped. We're moving on to game 2.
Look at this.
There's some...
Sideboard cam.
Sideboard cam is nice.
This is sweet.
I can certainly think of a few cards in Doc's deck that we're probably not going to see in game 2. But let's see what he has to bring in.
Picture a boa constrictor.
Squeezing.
That was Worth Wollpert in that game. Now, what in the world is Gabe going to do to switch this matchup even remotely favorable for him? I mean, look at all of his cards. They all... He's got Kaiga there. Like, steal your creature. Wait, you don't have one still. Can he just change out a whole color here? I mean, it doesn't look like it. All right, he's submitted.
Looks like he's set.
And Worth is sitting there kind of smug. You know, he's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
It works for me.
Hey, from Doc's point of view, it's interesting. You go into the game and you think you're not going to be facing creatures, but then Worth has control magic, and you don't, his planeswalkers, and so these cards are dead some of the time, but they might be useful. It's a lot of questions. I'm glad I'm sitting here. I'll just put it that way. This is a lot of fun to watch. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Looks like Worth's having fun, so that's good.
Yeah, I think once you tell your opponent duplicate resolves, you're having fun at that point.
Right, duplicate resolves.
You
What is it? Oh, nothing. It's a 2/4. Okay.
Right. All right.
Solid.
You did it. All right. So some mana, a Force of Will, and a Jace Balerion for Worth Wollpert on the top, and on the bottom we've got Doc, who's got a reasonable start himself. A Jace Vryn's Prodigy on turn 2 here. Now this. Wow, look at this. This is respect here. Worth Wollpert, he's going to get rid of his own Jace to Force of Will his opponent's creature. And, that's going to tell Doc that Worth doesn't have any cheap removal in his hand.
Yeah. Obviously Worth respecting the Magic Origins Jace that can come down and immediately provide some card filtering, and eventually Spark could ignite.
This is a little bit awkward for Doc. He's drawn his Ancestral Vision now, which isn't too late, but it's also not, particularly timely.
Right on time.
Yeah, I wouldn't quite describe it that way. Maybe right on time 2 turns ago.
You're right.
But it's not too late, right? Like, this game is likely to go enough turns where he's actually going to get some value out of the thing, and it looks like he's going to play Isochron Scepter for his miscalculation.
What
do you think about that?
That's a very strong play.
Now, you rules manager,
Yeah.
you can't cycle off of that, right?
No, the card is not in your hand. So Isochron Scepter, Doc is now going to be able to pay 2 and tap it to create a copy of that exiled card, and then cast the copy without paying its mana cost. The card is never, after this, in his hand, so cycling is not part of the equation here. But he basically has...
So he just, like, it's to set him back a couple of mana while setting himself back a couple of mana?
Kind of. It may pay dividends over time. I mean, he's going to be able to cast Misdirection over and over and over again.
But his opponent knows. And it's not misdirection, it's miscalculation.
Oh, miscalculation. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Misdirection.
Which is-
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Like, when your opponent knows, right?
It's still a cost Worth has to consider. It may make him make some inefficient plays.
Yeah, I think that's, like, his best case. The problem, of course, here for the MTGO Doc
Yes.
is that Worth has a threat.
Yes.
He's got Bitter Blossom.
That is Bitter Blossom.
is ticking out of control.
Those are flying fairy rogue tokens.
TikTok goes the Ancestral Vision.
So
And Gabe needs to find some mana.
the creatureless deck spitting out an impressive number of creatures over time here. Now more cards are on the way for Doc, and Social Vision is exiled. It's suspended with 2 counters on it.
But, man, look at this mana fight that Worth Wollpert is winning.
Yeah, we saw a couple black cards in Worth's deck when he was sideboarding. I saw Soren Markov, Bitter Blossom, and the Planeswalkers are here.
Yeah, this is really bad for the Doc because now Tamiyo is going to resolve here, and it's going to lock down the island that Doc has and effectively knock him out of this game. I don't see how he's going to be able to come back from being at 2 lands versus 7 mana sources and an active Bitter Blossom here. Have all the cards you want, right?
Yeah.
Ancestral Vision comes off next turn after this, and it's like, yeah, no problem. You can still only play 1 land per turn.
Right, he's 2 lands away from even a Solemn Simulacrum.
And
so.
it's just nothing but daggers here for Doc. He draws his duplicant.
Right. Probably just limited sideboard options, really. And I think Doc's lack of mana production here is ultimately what's going to do him in.
Yeah.
Worth may have to pay 2 more for his spells, but he's got that more than covered.
Oh, geez. Now he's got a Johnny Vengeance that he can use to lock down that island and then use Tamiyo to lock down a forest.
The sick rubbins from Mr. Wollpert.
It never stops with this guy.
It really doesn't.
I sense, like, just the slightest smirk from him there, too. No, he's going back into business mode, making sure that this works right. He's thinking, oh, what if I just Lightning Helix him?
He's got to keep his eye on the ball. This game is well on its way to being done, but it is not done.
I mean, I know what I would do. Yep, this is not good news for Doc. He sees that the Tamiyo taps down his forest here, and he's got to be wondering, why the forest?
Right.
You can keep me off of blue, and he's going to find out why once a Johnny Vengeance hits the battlefield. Matt Tabak, your trivia question.
Yes.
What is Marshall Sutcliffe's favorite Planeswalker of all time?
I'm going to go ahead and guess Tybalt. How'd I do?
No, we missed.
No, I'm sorry. We rehearsed
Johnny
that
Vengeance.
earlier.
I tried to set
Johnny
it up. It
Vengeance.
was on the stack.
That makes total sense. That's
Yeah.
why we rehearsed it earlier. I get it now. I'm so sorry. Not Tybalt's. Apologies
Right. You
to
just
the Tybalt
forgot.
fans out there.
Well, let's not assume that there's Tybalt.
Those 2 people might be watching. You don't know.
I wasn't willing to make the leap, but I'll jump with you. Yeah. So, Worth Wollpert, everybody. Just putting the smash down on what is ultimately a very bad matchup here for the Doc.
The odds were not in his favor, all things being even, for the odds and evens deck, piloted by Doc. It was not to be.
I gave you a clap.
I literally can't even.
Oh, man. There's a prophetic bolt off the top just to clean up any mess that may be left behind here in the wake of Worth Wollpert running over Doc here. Welcome to Renton, my friend. locking him out of mana. Although I do want to take a moment here. Dear God, that's gorgeous.
That is really nice art. The lands in Battle for Zendikar are
just
outstanding.
stunning.
Yes.
Just like they were before.
Just like they were before. Better.
Are you a Bucket Island guy? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I like the Bucket Island.
Okay. So you are a Bucket Island guy.
Yeah, I'll be a Bucket Island guy.
All right. Got to figure out which one of these new lands is going to be my go-to, my favorite.
Yeah. Now, personally, I'm a forest guy. I play green.
Oh, sure.
So, and I'm totally in love with the Battle for Zendikar basic lands. Of
Hey,
forests
Bucket
are
Island
beautiful.
off the top.
What's really surprising about this game right now is that it's still going on.
Not for long.
Okay, not for long.
Yeah,
Worth is putting the screws here. To,
Yeah,
to
he doesn't
dock.
actually have the win. Well, he actually does. He can just a Johnny Vengeant. But what he should do is just Prophetic Bolt first, probably. Make sure that resolves, and then a Johnny Vengeant for the Helix, and that'll call it a game.
He certainly has had the 2 mana to spend over and over and over again. So the miscalculations have not really impacted things whatsoever.
Not at all. I mean, there's something about
Doc
being able
fight's
to
a good fight.
see it.
Yeah.
You
Like I
know-
said, it's definitely not going to be a surprise. You're just hoping to make Worth wait a little bit on his spells.
Yeah, exactly. Like, your mana's not getting used, but hopefully his weren't either. The problem, of course, with this plan is that there was a Mind Stone and a Chromatic Lantern that really, got Worth way ahead on mana.
Right. Now, there was also the Ancestral.
The Ancestral Vision, yeah.
Yeah.
And that did it, a handshake, but Wollpert defeats Doc. Now, I will tell you, it's a little early, but I'm going to start this right now. I actually know what the match point totals were. And we're talking about the points that we're going to be watching for the duration of the weekend. Welcome back to the booth. Matt Tabak, Marshall Cycliffe with you here from Renton. 12-12. It was even coming into the round.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we tied it up in the first round.
Yeah, and even though and in fact it is currently tied up at 18-18 as well. So we've got a real neck and neck going here.
As we'd expect.
Yeah, as we'd hope.
As we'd hope.
At least for us in the
Yeah,
booth,
yeah.
we love the excitement. All right, let's send it over to BDM. He's got some action in the red zone for us.
Thanks, guys. So I wanted to see how Melissa Totora did this round when she wasn't, with her deck. And honestly, I'm just keeping an eye on Wedge. We had some pretty tough go there with the disaster movie theme. So let's take a look. Here he's playing against Melissa. Melissa, of course, was AFK, and she opens up with a Soldier of the Pantheon and follows it up with an Accorder Paladin. So pretty good opening for her. Isolated Chapel, Godless Shrine, But Wedge has fallen to 11, but he gets his 4th mana and Day of Judgment, a disaster movie title if I've ever heard one. Wipes the board, but Blade Splicer comes down, follows up for Melissa and a Student of Warfare. Lots of removal in this deck. Profane Command takes out the Blade Splicer, the Golem token, but Student of Warfare is going to be a problem. No, it's a 3/3. Wedge falls to 8. Gather the Townsfolk. Thought that would have been actually good for the disaster movie theme if that had come back around.
Gather the Townsfolk?
Yeah. Maelstrom Pulse takes out the Townfolk, which, see, that's the disaster right there. But a Mirroring Angel follows up. There's Dark Depths for Wedge, but can he do anything with it? Now he passes the turn. And unfortunately, the disaster movie is turning into a real disaster for Wedge, because that was game 2. He'd already lost game 1.
He's on theme.
he is the most on theme of anybody here in this in this format. So sending it back to you guys at the desk.
I think he should get some type of points for saying I'm going to make not only a movie disaster themed deck, but also have it be an actual disaster.
Wedge did a good job sticking a theme. The when the credits roll, he's there.
All right, we've got an
crazy.
interview lined up now, though, with Adam Stipulation. Let's head over to that.
The Stibs.
And I'm here on the floor with Adam Stipulation. Now, Stibs, in this stipulation draft, you were with, in some respects, a relatively straightforward stipulation. You had to draft a modern deck.
That's right.
Now, of the different options available to you, you could have just taken, I don't know, a bunch of modern legal cards and cobbled something together. It feels to me more like your deck is an actual modern deck that has won modern Pro Tours. Do you want to tell us some details?
Yeah. Early in draft pack 1, Splinter Twin came around. So grabbed that and just said, well, let's see what happens. You know, it was kind of on like a red-white kind of burn red-heavy deck. And then Pestermite came.
Great.
And then Restoration Angel. And Deceiver Exarch. And Zealous Conscripts open in pack 3. So it just kind of all came together. I didn't get a lot of card draw, but I did get Remand and Electrolyze and a lot of the cards you would expect from the deck.
So, for those of you not familiar, and realistically, this deck has now won, 2 Modern Pro Tours? If you get your Splinter Twin along with any of the creatures we just mentioned, you can effectively make infinite creatures, and you've been doing that to people all day long so far. You're 2-0, right?
I am. I only did it once. It's how I beat Ali in the second round here. But all of the rest has just been kind of like burn, aggressive grinding, using conscripts to kind of like steal and attack, things like that.
Yeah, I saw a moment where there was the potential for you to stick a Splinter Twin on Siege Gang Commander, which isn't the worst either. Conveniently didn't have to in that game, but 1 round to go. How are you feeling about your deck?
Pretty good. You know, we'll see what happens in the next round. It's gonna be the best deck the Wizards have. So we'll see if I can take it.
All right, well, thank you very much, Adam. I'm going to send things back to the coverage area now. We've got one more round of Stipulation Draft here at the Community Cup.
Hey there, welcome back to the booth here at the Community Cup. So we got to hear from old Stibsy there about his deck. He didn't have a lot to say about it, but
Short and to the point.
yeah,
That man's all business.
He's
He's here to
business.
crush WotC. He's not here to talk to people.
He's on a mission.
We'll talk
BDM,
later.
Red Zone. What do you got for us?
You know what? We could take a look at what Stipulation did actually that match. We can watch it. He played against Ali Medwin. But you know what? Is it just me, or was Stipulation taking like a page out of the Crash Davis playbook from Bull Durham in terms of like his sports cliches there? You know, he's like, how do you like your deck? He's like, well, you know, God willing, I just hope I can help the team. You know, it's a little bit of sports cliches. But let's see his game 2 against Ali Medwin here.
Media training.
Yeah. Ali Medwin had the World Knit, so she has to play with all the cards she drafted, but she gets to use Vivid Lands.
As many as she wants.
As many as she wants to make it work. And so you see there right now 3 Vivid Lands, but, you know, Chandra, Fire of Kaladesh for Stibsy here on turn 3, and that gets taken out with a Pillar of Flame. And this Hero Bladehold, so things are looking pretty good for Ali, but there's Pestermite. Oh, my gosh. Look at this.
You can see Stibbs' deck is given 150% here. He's living it all out on the field.
Yeah, there's the Splinter Twin on turn 4 for the Pestermite. And that was it. The game
Stibbs'
is
deck
ended.
just wants to play good and do good. So he's really just going to give that a shot and see what happens.
It's all about his teammates.
And God
Yeah.
willing, a team
It's
love.
all about my infinite teammates.
Yeah, I just want to give some love to all my Pestermites out there holding the line.
Was that you, BDM, saying that stuff?
No, that was Matt Tabak there.
All right,
You know,
welcome back. That was you, Matt?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
You
this
sounded
is-
different.
Sorry about that. It's a little cold here. It's autumn here in Renton. This is my first time in the booth. I really want to thank you guys for making this so easy for me. This
You're
is a
doing
lot of-
great.
It's a lot of fun.
The chat loves you, too.
I do have a question though. I'm looking. It looks as I can see us on camera right here. It looks like I'm shorter than you are.
That is not true, though, is it?
It's not actually true.
Are you sitting up straight?
Somebody
What is going
tweeted.
on?
I am. I'm trying to.
You've got a little
Somebody tweeted,
tiny
says
chair.
I look
We put him on a
smaller.
phone book, and I know that normally you think of phone book sitting on top of a chair to make somebody taller. He's just literally sitting on only a phone book. There's no
I'm
chair.
just gonna do the rest of the coverage like this.
Yeah.
Hello.
No, Matt's. You. How tall are you?
I'm 6'8".
He's 6'8".
How tall are you?
I'm 6'5". He's 3 inches tall.
This
he
is-
makes me feel tiny.
We're the tallest booth in Magic coverage history.
Yes. Previously, it was Nate Price and I, but now it's not.
Yeah, Nate Price is tall.
Yeah,
Take
he's
nothing
my
away
height.
from him.
Yeah, but not 6'8".
Right.
Jesus, you're a beast.
So, yeah, my first time in the booth, having a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys are having fun watching this. Look at those people. They're having fun.
Yeah, now, so what we're watching here, Matt, is this is the last match going. And as you can see, it's Megan Wolf, who's got the big smile on her face there and the cool purple hair.
I have yet to see Megan without a big smile on her face.
And,
so that
and
is
they're
good to see.
and they're
So
battling.
we're down here in the
and
area.
this
We've
is
got
the last
basically
match.
the whole community team here behind
Now,
Megan as she
Megan,
plays. This is the
her
last
draft-
game of the entire round. It will be this to tie for the community team, so that when we have our last round, we can go in without either team ahead. And it looks like things are going pretty well here for Megan. She has plenty of people helping her out on every decision, but to be perfectly honest, with the cards in hand, things looking pretty good. We already have a Gristlebrand in the graveyard, and that one of Megan's big paths to victory because there are a number of reanimation spells in her deck. Up against Ryan Spain here, he's on the odds in terms of the different casting costs he's allowed to use. So, Worn Power Stone already stopped by a looter there, able to potentially put Deep Analysis in the graveyard, draw a few extra cards with Flashback there, and we're in a pretty nice spot here for Megan Wolf against Ryan Spain. Compulsive Research, gradually digging through, trying to find the right way of getting back Gristlebrand, but if not, there's always Consecrated Sphinx that at some point might simply get cast. Great options here, no matter which way you slice it. It's looking like the Worn Power Stone counter has really left Ryan without anything too big and scary to do just yet. Looking across at the other side of the room, Ryan Spain with just a lone Wizards of the Coast member helping him out, as opposed to basically the entire community team checking out this last game going on here. But Megan Wolf already a match-up, in this Community Cup format already. So looking to be on the 2-0. The way that things work here, we've got 2 pods of drafters. So we are going to get potentially, if one team gets 2 3-0 players, that's certainly a very good spot for them to be in going forward. And right now, the actions are really all on Ryan to try and do something because there's lots and lots coming from Megan Wolf in the coming turns.
Probably a good sign.
Yeah, never more of a team event than when you have your entire team behind you helping out with decisions. But we're going to pass things back to the booth now so that they can carry on commenting everything they see. Plenty of action here, though, for Megan.
All right, so what do you make of this board state here, Matt?
So
All the players are huddled around.
yeah, what was really interesting to me is that the Wizards team appears to have completely abandoned Ryan Spain.
Yeah, there was one lone person who was brave enough to stand with him. We don't know who it was, though.
We didn't get a look at that.
I'm going to say
so
Turian, just in the
probably
dark.
he's
Yeah.
loyal, I guess.
Yeah.
It's Robert Schuster.
Okay.
So good on him.
The romantic guy.
He's very romantic.
Wow, this deck looks great from Megan Wolf, by the way. This is about the dream here.
Yeah, this is a really solid deck.
How do you like that Guiltleaf Winnower Jace Telepath combo that is online for her if she needs
That
it?
is cool. Wow, good eye, BDM.
She thought about doing it actually. She
take out the elf.
She made the elf smaller and thought about it, but then was like, well, or I could play a Glenalendra.
Oh, sure.
I kind of like the idea of killing the elf there. She was significantly ahead on mana. If she takes out the elf, it's 3 lands to 5, and she would have the Guiltleaf Winnower on the battlefield. It is tempting play to make. We're, of course, watching this from Megan Wolf's perspective.
Oh, so Arbor Elf is doing something.
Yeah, 5 mana. Oh, God.
The worst thing that could ever possibly happen.
Yeah, can't be. It's a card draw spell that can't be hit by Glenalendra Archmage. Wow, this match is shaping up really nicely here. They're in game 3, I believe, as well. Yeah,
And
according
both
to
of
my
them are under 10
info.
minutes.
Well, it looks like they've got a lot of action. Wow, that island is
I
stunning
think
too.
we're going to see the Winnower here to take out Muldrifter. Now that its power and toughness are not equal.
Yeah, you were right. This also allows her to keep up the 1 blue mana to activate her Glenalendra Archmage in case something scary were to come down in the non-creature variety.
Yeah, ran into a bit of bad luck facing Muldrifter, the rare creature spell that draws you cards.
Mythic.
Mythic rare.
uncommon.
Yeah.
Okay, so we figured out why.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because he doesn't pick on elves.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that a little bit late.
And the Arbor elf. As
Right.
it turns out, is an elf.
Yeah, the winnower there is sort of top-down hypocrisy. He picks on elves are supposed to be beautiful and perfect, and
And things that are not get smashed under
Right.
the hoof of his
right.
steed.
The amusing part there is, of course, its own power and toughness not equal. That's
Wait a minute! I
that's-
just noticed
that-
that.
that's
the
wh-
hypocrisy.
That's
that
the
you were just
hypocrisy.
referring
That's
to.
the angle. It's really a clever
Unbelievable.
card. There are a lot of layers to it, and not
It's conflicted.
continuous
It's
effect layers.
misunderstood.
Yeah, it just
not those type of layers.
it listens to that kind of music.
I like how you're one of very few people that would say there's many layers to it, and then make sure that we knew that you weren't talking about those layers.
Right. It's
the confusing,
like an
rule
ogre
ones.
or an onion or the comprehensive rules, where one would find layers.
All right. Well, it looks like Jace is doing good work here against this Orin Viper. Making it have no power means that it's not really going to be able to do much.
Yeah, Ryan Spain with a full grip. He's got 6 cards in hand, if
But
I'm
he's
seeing
getting
that correctly.
thumped here for 6
Yeah.
damage.
Taking 6 damage.
Yeah, it's going
He's
to drop
probably
him.
going to have to just start running some cards into the Glenelendra Archmage, because Gravy Train is now online. And again, that Glenelendra Archmage just protecting. Now it's protecting from a counterspell, for example.
Curve is working out real nice with Megan able to
Yeah.
cast some very powerful spells, but still leave Glenelendra online.
Yeah, I love how she's played this game. Awkward stuff for Spain here.
I don't know
Yeah.
that I've ever had the discipline to not jam a Consecrated Sphinx into play the moment I had 6 mana.
Yeah. Turns out 10 power and 10 toughness are going to do good work for Megan here, but that is a very tempting offer. All right, it's Beast Within to kill the Grave Titan.
Or
But
is it?
He's not going to allow that, right? Oh, she allowed it. Okay. I
A
mean,
co-
it would open her up to some type of sweeper.
A confident look.
If he untaps and goes Damnation or something, you're pretty bummed. She still gets the beast.
Maloku.
Here's Maloku, though. Are the tides turning? Jace is on 8. Oh, jeez. And yeah, now it's time to slam Consecrated Sphinx. Oh, and there's a deep analysis in the yard, too.
So
Hey.
there is. Like I said, we're watching this game from Megan's perspective.
That's right. Normally we have both sides represented, but
Oh, look at that.
Dread Return.
Do you hear that groan
I-
coming from the community?
We could hear it all the way in our room, which is pretty far away here. I wonder if they can hear us. But yeah, Dread Return, getting rid of a zombie to get back that guy. Wait, is there a Grizzlebrand in the yard?
Yes, there is.
Oh my.
Oh, all right.
Wow, Dread Return's a big game here.
There's some oohing and awing I can hear from the players.
I can as well. Like, I think I like just slamming Consecrated Sphinx that turn and leaving up the Glenelendra, but the line that Megan's taken here has really worked out, and she's going to be able to Dread Return with backup still up for that
Yeah, that Glenelendra.
Glenelendra.
Playing
And
some amount of
she's
defense
going to get
there.
back a Grizzlebrand this turn.
So Megan at a healthy 16 life and about to have a demon show up.
She did the old land check there. Which she can do. She's got a land drop to give here. There we go. This is just nasty. Now she has double Glenelendra Archmage backup as well. The Grizzle Dad. Wait, no. No.
Well, Ryan's
Megan's
at one.
go-
She just wants to close it out.
Yeah, Megan's going wide.
That's
she just
not how
wants,
you play this game.
She just wants a lot of.
Well, guess what? She's going to get both. Because she's going
She's
to
just gonna flash it back
at-
right now?
yes.
Oh, she's just using the Grave Titan tokens.
That's how you play this game.
to rebuy Gristlebrand.
Whee! Is that a good turn? Megan Wolf for president. I'm calling it right now.
I love
this
it.
is unbelievable.
I mean, Grave Titan gets you 2/3 of the way to Dread Return for the second time.
And she still has Force of Will backup with double Glenelendra to protect anything that Ryan could do of any consequence
If
here.
you're going to do it with Flair, and Megan is doing it with Flair.
And by the way, she can draw 14 cards here and still be alive too.
A comfortable 16 life is Megan Wolf.
She can draw 14, have double Glenelendra, and still cast Force of Will without dying. She's got this thing just mapped out.
You see, Ryan has sent a message.
What?
GG's.
GG's.
GG.
And GG's they were. What a thumping there down the stretch. Look at that smile on her face and the fist pump, and why not? Megan Wolf cleans out the match here and finishes things off.
That's a
And
really good look.
There's the Salt.
With the
Salty
community team
McSalterson.
turning their back on him there. Look at it. They're not even
This
looking
has
at
turned into
Ryan.
some like kind of
As
art expo here.
as they say on Twitch,
This is-
salt icon, salt icon, salt icon, Kappa.
Actually, he doesn't look that. He looks like he's actually.
Oh, he's
handling it.
bottling it up. You can
No,
tell.
I
Oh,
know
he's
Ryan
deep
well.
inside.
No, I'm